On this channel, we've talked about the science behind socializing your Doberman. Research has shown, studies have shown that more recent studies about this. Some really crazy new research has come out. You've gotten to see me while I'm socializing my Doberman. You've even gotten to see other owners while they socialize their Dobermans. Never have all of the best tips from all of this been combined into one single video on this channel before. So today, we're doing exactly that. We're bringing you the 5 absolute best tips for socializing your Doberman in a way that will allow you to just frankly build a better Doberman out of your dog. Now, the first tip is to make sure that you're leveraging something called the critical socialization window, or as I call it, the CSW with your Doberman. Now, this is a specific window of time during your Doberman's development when their natural excitement and curiosity about the world, it's strong enough to actually override any fears they might have about new experiences along the way. This means that this is when you'll get, frankly, the biggest bang for your buck for your socialization efforts. And exposing them to just a few new sights and sounds and people and animals or experiences during this window of time, it's gonna make the biggest difference in having a calm, confident Doberman that you can take with you into any new environment. And this really short window of time, this can be a bit different for different breeds, but in Doberman, studies have shown that the window of time to be between when they're 4 weeks of age and 8 weeks of age. Now, that's really young, right? I mean, that young of an age, your puppy is still likely with a breeder and you'll have no influence on their socialization during that time, which is why a good breeder is super important, by the way. But there have actually been some studies, and the links will be in the sources down below, that show that you can actually extend this critical socialization window up to about 16 weeks of age if the dog has continued socialization reinforcement along the way. But even after 16 weeks, ongoing socialization is shown to be critical for avoiding any future fear issues that they might develop. This means that it's crucial that when you bring home a new Doberman puppy, you immediately begin exposing them to as many sights, sounds, experiences, people, and even other animals as you reasonably can continually as they developed. And I'll have more about exactly how to do that in tip number 4. Our next tip is to leverage positive reinforcement while you're socializing your Doberman. And the beauty of this is that it makes really a huge difference while socializing Dobermans of all ages, not just during that critical socialization window for puppies. Actually reinforcing an experience as positive with your dog is the exact same thing that dog trainers do during reassociation training. And they do this regularly with good results, even with adult Dobermans too. So basically, when a dog is fearful or afraid of something because they've had a negative experience with it in the past, they'll slowly reintroduce them to that experience while providing praise, comfort, treats, or even rewards afterwards, all in an effort to reassociate that negative trigger with good feelings with that dog. And if you use this same method for your socialization efforts, you can really supercharge the socialization of your Doberman, even in adult Dobermans. So while you're bringing your dog out to new experiences, just provide praise and reassurance. Make sure that that experience never turns scary to them and that they have every reason in the world to only associate good, happy feelings with that new experience that you're exposing them to. The next socialization tip that's super important with this breed is to do gradual exposure to a new experience wherever necessary. I think we kind of all get what I mean by gradual, right? If you bring in your Doberman, a protection dog who is often on high alert, into a huge crowd of people, for example, please do not just drag them in. Go very gradual. Start from a distance or even really far distance and watch the group. Then you can slowly get closer. And when your dog is visibly relaxed, such as lying down, for example, then you can consider getting closer. But go slow and let them set the pace. The main goal here is to never force your Doberman into a situation where they feel uncomfortable. You can encourage and reassure, but never force them. These are dogs that are highly aware of their surroundings, and one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is forcing them into an uncomfortable situation. It'll likely cause increased fear surrounding those situations in the future, and it's really gonna backfire on you. There's another technique for socializing that many owners are using now called 100 experiences in 100 days, and that's our next tip. Essentially, this is a method of ensuring that you socialize your Doberman to as many new experiences as possible in that first 100 days of bringing home a new puppy. Now, personally, I think this 100-day thing, it's a bit of a tall order, and I'd be willing to bet that whoever created this method probably didn't really expect everyone to actually hit that goal. But I do believe that the main thought process behind it is really a great one. Get serious about ongoing exposure to new experiences every single day for that first 100 days of owning a new Doberman. This means setting time aside in your daily schedule to at least introduce one new experience to your dog each day. Start by making a checklist of 100 different things that you want to expose your Doberman to. These can be things like a loud truck driving by, sirens, a really big dog, a really small dog, a cat, a loud person, a quiet person talking with their hands a lot, someone wearing a big jacket, a car driving by, a car ride, a boat ride, or going to a shopping mall, and on and on and on. And where it might be difficult to expose them to certain things on this list, like a thunderstorm, for example, just go to YouTube, and as long as they stay relaxed and comfortable having a thunderstorm playing a touch on the louder side, you can just have it running maybe on your television in your house and check that one off the list, as long as they're calm and relaxed the whole time. If you make a serious attempt at 100 experiences in 100 days, you make a checklist, and each day you check off one item from that list, I'm telling you, it'll be really hard for you to mess up the socialization of your dog. I do want to take a moment to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Ollie. I actually first tried Ollie's human grade dog food service with my Doberman Arlo a few years ago, and I was honestly really blown away by the effect it had on Arlo fairly quickly too. Arlo made it really clear even after just his first few meals that he was loving his new fresh meals. And recently we had a Doberman Planet viewer named Anna try Ollie for the first time with her Doberman Booker, and well, here's what she had to say.
I've been feeding Booker Ollie's fresh human grade meals for about 2 weeks now, and I have noticed a ton of changes in him. He has a lot less anxiety, he's calmer throughout the day, he seems to have a easier time focusing, and he actually even listens better to me now, which is amazing. He has such great general behavior. He's just relaxed now and such a good dog, and it's freed up a lot of time for me to enjoy life with Booker. Also, it has seriously been so wonderful.
And yes, there are definitely a few things I recommend repeatedly on this channel, and you'll see me, I really believe in these things such as DNA testing and tracking your Doberman's daily exercise for their benefit, and you're gonna continue to hear me honestly talk about the importance of feeding a quality diet to your Doberman with real clean ingredients, no preservatives, no fillers, and one that has high quality sources of protein. Super important. And Ollie seems to check all of these boxes, and the best part is they'll custom tailor your dog's diet specifically to them and their needs, and they do that with every single Ollie customer. Just follow the link in the description down below and use the coupon code Doberman Planet in all caps, all one word, at checkout to get a big discount off your first box of food with them. That way you can try it out and see the changes in your dog too. Now this tip is a simple one, but it can make a big difference, is to utilize trusted dogs for your socialization efforts early on with your Doberman. There really are a large number of Dobermans that I've personally met who have become just really reactive to other dogs around them simply because of one bad experience with another dog when they were young, usually a bite or maybe even a full-on attack at an early stage in their socialization. Now, an event like that, especially if it happens in your dog's first fear period, which by the way for Dobermans is between 8 to 10 weeks of age, it can have lifelong negative effects on their behavior. So that's why a lot of owners do their socializing of their Doberman with other dogs who are very trusted and known to them. Now you can do this by finding a friend's dog, a family member's dog, or someone else with a dog who you know is very calm and cool and doesn't tend to get any fights or have issues with other dogs. And the more of these dogs that you can find to socialize your Doberman with when they're young, the better. And yes, trust me, it might be tempting to just go find a dog park and socialize right away, but please don't do that early on. And when you're ready to try something like a dog park at some point, please be very careful. Observe the dogs from a distance, maybe even multiple times, so you can really get a handle on how calm and relaxed they are beforehand. Recently, actually, I met an owner of a Doberman at a meetup group for Doberman owners, and when I talked to her, she had told me of a technique to get as many experiences for her Doberman as possible. And basically her technique was simple. She tossed on a harness on her dog and brought her dog with her everywhere, like literally in every store, every public place. She just brought her dog everywhere. And sometimes she would get asked, hey, is that a service dog? she would be honest with them and tell them, no, it's not. And sometimes they'd ask her to leave and she'd agree and go, no problem, I'll leave, and leaves. But she told me that that was extremely rare. A lot of businesses, way more than you might think, were totally fine with her bringing in her dog. And I just thought that was just such a cool way to get your dog with some really new, awesome socialization opportunities they wouldn't get otherwise. Remember that we're doing new Doberman Planet videos every week now, so you can go ahead and make Doberman Planet as part of your Sunday morning routine again. We'd really appreciate that. Just make sure to subscribe down below and turn on all notifications by hitting that little bell icon down there as well. Also, take a second to take a look at the sponsor of our video that I told you about, Ollie. The links to them will be down in the description below this video since, well, they made this video possible, and I really do believe that they offer some of the best dog food for our Dobermans out there. And don't forget that coupon code also, save yourself some money. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Please keep being great to your Dobermans, and of course, I'll see you on the next one next Sunday.